Throughout the years, Microsoft has done a lot to improve the Xbox brand, but there is one particular area where I think they are still lacking in. That is the Japanese support. And that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about why I think improving that even further than what Phil Spencer has done now will improve the brand and help them do a lot better competitive-wise going into next generation. But before we get on to the video, definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. You can subscribe to the channel for weekly content. You can always follow me at Twitter at LordAddictIOP. If you really enjoyed that content, don't forget hit that bell icon so you get notified when I make videos. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get on with the video. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Addict here, coming at you with another video. Like I said in the intro, today's video is going to be about JRPGs and the relevancy and the importance that they have in the gaming industry. It's going to be really about one of those videos where I'm going to tell you why I think it's really important that Microsoft focus on these titles and make sure that they can get as many of them on their platform as possible. A key reason that I do think Microsoft needs to focus on these JRPGs is they do lose some exclusivity when it comes to these JRPGs. Now, what I mean by exclusivity is there is a lot of different exclusives that Sony pretty much gets by default. Clearly, we're finally getting games like Yakuza, we're finally getting games like the Tales games, and we're getting a lot of the Final Fantasy games as well. But one of the key things that Sony's always had on Xbox is the relationship with the Japanese developers. They can go out and easily make these relationships to get stuff like Persona, to get stuff like Final Fantasy VII Remake on their platform. I know some people might not like these games, but these games are highly rated and they sell well and they do help push consoles. For instance, this year has been a very good year for Sony, and one of those games is Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know there's probably some kind of exclusivity deal that prevents it coming to the Xbox platform for I hear about a year. So let's say Microsoft attempted to fix these relationships and build new relationships a couple years before they did. Maybe we would get Final Fantasy VII on launch, or even maybe if they would have built a really good relationship and put a little bit of money behind it, we could have got Final Fantasy VII Remake as an exclusive and not Sony. Imagine this year they didn't have Final Fantasy VII as an exclusive and it was at least a multiplayer. I feel like the year could have been a little bit better for Microsoft and not so well for Sony. Let's take Persona 5 for instance. Persona 4 just came out for the PC. It would have been a really good move to have Persona 4 come out for the Xbox as well as PC. That way it would have shown a little bit more incentive, like, look, we are attempting to get these JRPGs. We know that the audience likes them and we want to make sure our library is diverse, so we're going to go out and pursue these games and make sure they're on our platform at launch. Now, since we're talking about Persona 4, let's talk about Persona 5. Persona 5 was one of PlayStation's best exclusives and they didn't even make it. Sony didn't even make that game and they're getting a free exclusive. I don't know what kind of relationship Sony has with them. Maybe Atlas and them have a secure relationship when it comes to having their titles only on the PlayStation platform. But then again, it's like I said earlier, Persona 4 is on the PC, so maybe it's not as thin dry as that, and maybe Microsoft has to go a little bit more out of their way to make sure these games come out on their platform. Let me just clear something up. I know a lot of people in the comment section are going to run with the assumption that I don't think that Phil Spencer is doing everything he can to fix these relationships to make sure these games come on his platform. I know he's doing it, but I do feel like he's got to do better. He's got to do something to get through to them, because Sony is killing it with these exclusives by default. They're getting these games just because of relationships and because with that stigma that they're not going to sell it all on the Xbox platform. Xbox has been getting W's in terms of Yakuza. It's been getting W's in terms of Kingdom Hearts. But I do feel like for every one game that we finally get, that Microsoft finally gets to their platform, there's 3 games that's exclusive to PlayStation by default. And I really think just by those numbers, they definitely need to work on that. They need to work on their relationships. They need to make sure they can do everything they can to make sure that these games come on their platform, so they're not exclusively on the PlayStation because they don't want to release it on the Xbox brand. Now, I do think that the Xbox Series X is going to go more of a world release than its predecessors did, and I think that's going to help a lot with the Japanese audience, because one of the things that I would say with the Japanese developers and the Japanese publishers is, if you're not even caring about our country enough to make sure it comes out the same time it comes in your country, why should we care about your product enough to make sure our games come to your product? And to be honest with you, I completely understand that fully. A key thing that I think Microsoft can do to improve these relationships is show initiative that they care about this genre. Buy a couple studios, buy Mistwalker, buy something else that shows Microsoft's actually buying studios because they want their games, they want that type of game, they want that genre, and they want that Japanese influence game to come to their product, to be a first party studio. I think that would go a long way. I know there's a lot of rumors that they're buying a Japanese market studios. I don't know exactly if they are, but I do think that the Japanese audience sees that they don't even have one studio, one first party studio that is a Japanese orientated, and I think that bothers them sometimes. I felt like in the 360 era we did a better job with this. We got stuff like Lost Odyssey, we got stuff like Mistwalker, we got exclusive Japanese JRPGs to come to the platform. Like I said, these brands, these genres aren't for everyone. But you know what this does? It makes your platform more diverse. Let's say that there's fans on the Nintendo platform, there's fans on the PlayStation platform. It gives them more confidence that if they do decide, because they want to play that Halo, they want to play that Gears, they want to play that Fable, that they could come over to the Xbox ecosystem and they still won't miss out on those JRPGs that they love on those platforms. There's a lot of people that like playing the Personas. There's a lot of people that like playing the Final Fantasy VII remakes. And when you don't have those games at all, it makes it a harder sell for people that do like those games. It's not going to leave those platforms to play on your brand. But anyway, that's the video. You know what I want to know in the comment section below is, tell me, do you guys think JRPGs is as important as I do? I do think they have a lot of relevancy in the terms of the gaming industry. I think they've been around so long that they have a lot of roots when it comes to gamers, especially older gamers. They love these JRPGs, and I feel like if you make sure you get all of these, you'll be more inclined to getting them on your platform because they know they'll play those games. But you know, definitely what I said, put that in the comment section below, and you know, put in there your favorite JRPG. I'm kind of curious on that too. But until this is next video, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.